A U government survey found that around 68% of people stayed in a disrespectful relationship longer than they should have. Not because they didn't see the signs, not because they didn't feel hurt, but because walking away takes a kind of courage that people rarely talk about. And if you ever walked away from a friendship or relationship like this, that took strength even if no one validates it. Now, if you are still struggling, hoping, still unsure, pause for a moment and ask yourself these questions. Do you feel emotionally drained, confused, or undervalued in this relationship? Do the same pattern repeat no matter how clearly you explain your feelings? Do you apologize more than they do, even when you are the one hurt? Are you staying because you feel genuinely valued, or because you are waiting for them to become who you hope they will be? And when things feel wrong, do you tell yourself they are not always like this, even though the pattern keeps repeating? If you said yes to even one of these questions, then there is a reason. And it's not weakness. Psychology calls it a trauma bonding. Imagine standing in a room where light keeps flicking. For a moment, everything feels warm and safe. Then suddenly, darkness. When lights came back, you feel relief, gratitude, and hope. Eventually, you stop asking why light keeps going out. You are just thankful that it came back. That's a trauma bonding. In a relationship, that light is love, respect, and care. And instead of being steady, it flicks. And then it becomes a cycle. Hurt, distance, apology, hope, and then hurt again. In a healthy relationship, problem leads to the real changes. But in trauma bonded one, problem leads to the promises. And here is what most people don't realize is this inconsistency can actually make attachment even more stronger because of something called intermittent reinforcement. In psychology, rewards which are given unpredictably can create stronger attachment. And in relationship, reward isn't money or gift. It's attention, affection, validation, and respect. When this show up inconsistently, your brain learns to wait, hope, and try even more harder. That's why one good moment can outweigh months of pain. That's why apology feels powerful even when behavior doesn't change. And this doesn't affect your emotions, it affects your body. When there is a tension or uncertainty, your body enters in a stress mode, alert, restlessness, on edge. Then when the same persons become kind or reassuring, your body finally relaxes. Over time, your nervous system starts confusing relief with safety. So even though they cause the pain, they also feels like the only place where the pain stops. That's why living doesn't feel emotionally hard. It feels physical. Your body isn't attached to the person. It's attached to the calm after chaos. There is another reason it's hard to recognize. It's hope bias. Hope bias make you focus on who someone could be instead of who they consistently are. You remember the good version of them, the good moment, and you wait for that version to come back. Slowly, you start adjust yourself to keep that hope alive. You speak less, ask less, explain more, tolerate things you once said you never would. And then self-doubt creeps in. Am I asking too much? Maybe I need to explain better. Maybe I am the problem. But healthy love doesn't require convincing someone to care. In a healthy relationship, respect is steady. It doesn't disappear when things get uncomfortable. It doesn't have to earn again and again. But in trauma bonded one, respect appears and then disappears and return just enough to keep you attached. So if you feel more anxious than safe, more confused than calm, more hopeful than genuinely valued, that's not overthinking. That's information. Healing from trauma bond isn't about suddenly becoming strong or making any dramatic decisions overnight. It starts with awareness, small shifts, watching patterns instead of promises, stopping the habit of negotiating for basic respect, and calming your body so your mind can think clearly. Every small boundary teaches your brain that I can protect myself. And if you are not ready to leave yet, that doesn't mean you have failed. Awareness itself is the first crack in the cycle. You didn't stay because you were weak. You stayed because your brain learned survival before it learned self-respect. And anything that was learned can be unlearned. If respect has to be repeatedly explained, negotiated, or waited for, it isn't missing because you didn't communicate well enough. It's missing because that relationship cannot provide it.